Good morning. Welcome to the DFS YouTube channel. I am Razzle11, and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Going to take a look at pitching for today, the 22nd of June. It is Saturday. We do have an 8-game day slate and a 4-game evening or main slate, depending on how the sites classify them. Some potential weather looks like in New York. Um, Not really sure about the day game weather-wise, but we're here for the pitching. So we will start with the day slate, which is an 8-gamer. We get Zach Wheeler at the top, coming off of a horrendous start against an elite offense in Baltimore. Arizona isn't quite an elite offense, but they do have some guys that are swinging it really well right now. I do expect Wheeler to bounce back a little bit. He's been absolutely unbelievable when pitching at home, so that kind of fits here. K-prop was 6.5. He is a minus 250 home favorite. Extremely strong, so somebody I have no problem going to. And I think he's going to be somewhat overlooked because I think a lot of people end up on Logan Gilbert. Blanco isn't going to make my pool. He's been phenomenal this year, coming off of another no-hit type performance. But taking on Baltimore, I'm just going to pass there. I'm going to fade him similar to Rodon yesterday. And I would imagine it shouldn't come back to hurt me very often in this scenario. So no problem going to Logan Gilbert. Probably will end up my highest owned. I'm not super afraid of him being chalk at this point against a Miami squad that is weaker. Not as sharp at home, but that's all right. Coming off an elite start against Texas, should be a massive favorite. I haven't looked at the line yet. Minus 175 isn't really as massive as I would have thought, but game total of just 7.5. K-prop of 6.5 on the slate. Excellent option. Pretty safe overall. Super popular. Corbin Burns against a tougher Houston squad. Burns has been solid. His K numbers just haven't been this great this year, but he's just been super, super steady. K-prop of 6.5. Juice on the under. He's a minus 142 road favorite in this one. No problem going with Burns. Much rather play Burns over Blanco at this point. Jared Jones, I'm intrigued. He does show upside. He's definitely cooled off a ton, but just a few starts ago against the Dodgers, he absolutely dominated them. So we know he has the ability to do it. A few of the Tampa Bay bats are heating up, but game's basically a pick 'em right now. He does have a K-prop of 5.5 juice on the over. I don't mind him. He's not somebody I want to go too heavy on. Ben Lively coming off of a rough start. I haven't really been playing him. I think I'm going to include him in my pool today, but he's not somebody that I'm super confident in. Toronto's offense has been pretty dead. Um, but one of the biggest things is they're not a huge K team in general. So it kind of does leave me a little worried about having to rely on Lively. K prop of 4.5. Juice is on the under. I assume he's a favorite in this one. A minus 148 favorite. Game total of 9, though. Um, Lively would be one of the first guys that I end up removing from my pool if it comes down to it. Bailey Ober dominated the A's the first time he faced them. He's been pretty bad on the road, so that is a worry. And his last start was against this A's team. So again, kind of a red flag, but it's a minus 166 road favorite. K-prop of 6.5. Should be pretty popular. Like I would imagine the Gilbert Ober combination are going to be pretty popular on this slate. As we go down, there's just a couple other names that I'm considering on this slate. Nick Pivetta, I just love the upside. Dangerous spot. Ballpark does allow home runs to be hit. He can give up a bunch of home runs in a hurry, but he can also rack up strikeouts. Overall, the Cincinnati lineup has been weak lately, so I am intrigued. Not a huge fan of the fact that he jumped up to 109 pitches, even though I hate pitch count issues. They obviously, hadn't been letting him go very, very far over 90. So that big jump could be a little hangover effect in this game, but I just love the upside for GPP purposes. Um, I wouldn't be shocked to see him show up and strike out 9 or 10. To be honest, K prop is 6.5. Juice is pretty strongly on the under right now, but he is a minus 125 favorite. Game total is 9.5. So again, super volatile, but I just love the upside if things come together. Zach Eflin will be making his fourth start since returning from the IL. Hasn't been super sharp, but the K's bounced up against Atlanta last time out. Hasn't picked up a win yet, but I think it's a pretty good spot for him to get that W here. He's a very slight favorite. K prop sitting at 4.5. I like the upside. He hasn't really shown extreme upside yet this season, but he's certainly capable of doing it. So I do want to include him in my pool as kind of the last man in. He or Lively are kind of the last men into this pitcher pool for me on that slate. But we'll switch over to the four gamer here. We get Glass now. Spectacular. Super pricey now, but just such upside, especially on this slate where I don't really think we have a ton of pitching options. So I'm going to be just looking to jam Glass now in. He's going to be somewhat popular, but that's all right. When I go heavy on a pitcher and he's popular, I just make sure I go extremely overweight on the field, which is something I will definitely do here. Not really interested in taking a pitcher in this matchup. Morton's been decent on the road, so maybe we need to include him. It is just a four-gamer, so we do have to do something. But definitely not interested in Stroman. Similar to the fact that I wasn't interested in Rodon yesterday. This Atlanta offense is starting to wake up a little bit, despite being banged up. Olsen and Riley, plenty of power, and obviously Azuna's been great all year. Kelenich's been actually really solid in the leadoff spot. So that top half of that Atlanta lineup is just super dangerous. Mitchell Parker, I think he's viable. We used DJ Hertz yesterday in Coors. He looked good until a couple of home runs. I think Parker fits in, should be solid. Should offer a solid upside. It's K prop of 4.5. Juice is on the over. He's a minus 118 favorite. Game total is just 10.5. Now, I say just 10.5, but that's generally the lowest we end up seeing in Coors. It generally ranges from 10.5 to 12.5, so I'm intrigued enough. Carlos Rodriguez, minor league numbers intrigue me. His performance at the major league level does not yet. Quantrill, somebody that I'm interested in because he has done a pretty solid job when pitching in Coors. He obviously crushed against Minnesota, against tough offense like Philadelphia. He absolutely dominated Pittsburgh, but obviously the big issue here is Washington isn't a huge K team. His K prop is just 3.5. But, it does feel weird to have both pitchers in Coors in my pitcher pool. But again, we have 8 pitchers to work with, so we do have to be a little more creative. But there we have it. There's kind of that first look at pitching. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on. Get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to join us, get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc. I will put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's R-A-Z, for 10% off monthly. And as always, best of luck, everybody.